Yes, hi, I'm Martin. I don't want to promote my company too much because it's not a very big thing as Euroforce, for example, really. But I want to tell you something about what I did so far and how I achieved that. To help you if you have a muse, for example, and you don't have any hints how to put it in a company, to give you some first steps about doing it. So first I want to tell you who I am. I'm 25 years old. I was born and raised in Germany and Poland. So I came to Germany when I was 5 years old. Grew up between Cologne and Düsseldorf and came to Berlin 5 years ago. Studied here real estate management as a parallel course of studies. So I worked in 2 different companies for 4 years, or 4.5 years, in classical real estate business. And last year I graduated and started my part-time master studies in digital media management. So here you can see already that I'm interested in real estate, but also in digital business. That's what I'm gonna tell you about later. During my studies that's a bit bigger than it's supposed to be. During my studies in 2013, I founded my first company, which is a micro-loaning company on the Polish market. So I collected investors, and we're giving away loans for 2 or 3 months for private people to get some stuff and to get over the period they get new money. So that was the first company I founded in 2013. Still working on the Polish market. Last year, during my graduation and after that, I was participant of the Founder Institute, where I co-founded Travel, which provides accommodation for the business community, and it's still about to launch, so it's still not ready. But I left it in I think October last year to do my current company, which I want to tell you about, Groszewski Real Estate. So it's my last name, a bit hard to pronounce, but still. What I did so far, in September, I just made in Germany it's called Einzelunternehmen, so the single company. It's very easy to found. It took me just 1 week to found it. I wanted to make quick money, to be honest. I didn't want to grow a big company like Uberforce. I wanted to make big money in a very small period of time. So I thought about how can I do that, and that's what I'm going to tell you about later. Right now I have approximately 200 people per week on my website, which is okay for a real estate broker. Not too much, but it's okay. It's enough for business. And I don't want to make myself important, but I want to tell you, be transparent with you. Currently I'm earning approximately 9,000 euro per month after taxes. So that's what I did in 8 months of work, looking at January to April. So now I want to tell you how I did it. So I combined some digital techniques of startups with the classical real estate business, which everybody can do, You don't have to spend too much money for marketing, or you can take simple techniques and just get things done with them. First, you have heard it before probably, fake it until you make it. What do I mean by that? I want to give you an example. That's my current website, groszewski-re.com. I just created it with WordPress. That's a very simple thing. I had no idea about WordPress before. It took me approximately 3 to 4 days to learn how to use WordPress and all the templates and stuff. So I just created this website with WordPress. My friend Ian from Travel made the logo for me, the key, and the whole name tag you can see here. Then I set it up. And what I did, I was alone, right? I just talked to some friends and friends of friends who were doing different things. I was selling just real estate, and I talked to people who were doing finances, insurances, and all around real estate, and I put them all on my website as my team, right? So people being on my website thought I have a company of 8 or 9 employees, which I hadn't. I was alone, right? So people really wrote me via my website or called me. Okay, I want to do some financing. Can you help me? I was like, yeah, of course I can. We have Frank who's doing that. And then he wrote me, and I just forwarded to my friend, and he just called this guy to help him, you know? So I could like provide quick help and earn money with that. That was my aim, because I got commissioned for the forwarding email thing. So I faked my team in the beginning. That was the first thing. You can deconstruct things and think outside of the box. So that's Tim Ferriss style again, right? He's all about deconstruction. What do I mean by that? I want to give an example. In the beginning, I sat down and I noted some things I think are very important for being a successful real estate broker. I was working 4.5 years in 2 companies with real estate, and I just thought about, okay, what do you need to be very like successful in this thing? I recognize that many people are specialized, so I just focused on selling houses, apartments, and multiple family houses. I'm not doing renting at all, because like it's more profit with selling houses, right? So I specialize in that. You need probably good marketing, I thought, but I had like no money at all. The thing was, I just saved the money to be able to live for 4 months. So I was like, I had money for end of December, then I would be like totally broke. So I had to have the first money coming until end of last year. That was my goal. You need a big network, of course, like in many classical businesses you need a big network, so here too. You need experience and knowledge to be able to do the whole transaction. Like imagine you're buying or like you're selling a house with 20 apartments in it, right? So it's pretty hard to get all the legal stuff done and to know how to do it. And you of course need objects to rent or to sell, whether you're like specialized in renting or selling. So my approach was, I thought about how can I get the things, like most of the 5 things in a very short period of time. The first approach was, a friend of mine wrote a scraper, or like a crawler, for the biggest platform for real estate in Germany. So I got like approximately 1,800 contact details for real estate companies in Berlin, right? So for different brokers and like those companies who are like managing houses and stuff. I put them all into MailChimp. You know MailChimp probably, right? And I sent at once 1,800 something emails with like a very nice text. I did it in like 1 day with an HTML and stuff. And I had 63 meetings, because I counted in my calendar for you. 63 meetings in 6 weeks after that. So that's how I like became very quick. Like I got into this whole network thing of real estate. So people knew me, and I was like really able to call people and okay, I need that, and people were calling me after 2 months already. So that's a second thing you can remember. That you hear very often probably. It's like over planning kills the magic. So like start right away. You don't have to wait for any investors. Probably if you're having classical business, just start with some classical things, as I did. What I was inspired by Robert Kiyosaki, maybe you know him, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read like all books. I was very inspired in building a system. So you have to build from the beginning a big system which can work on its own, by itself. So not a small service-driven company, but you have to make structures for giving away after a while. So I started with having a CRM system where I documented everything, every single step I did from the beginning. So every person who comes into my company right now is able to continue the work I did in the last 6 months, for example. But for that you should read that book, like that's the cash flow quadrant, where Robert Kiyosaki describes the difference between small business and big business. That's a very good thing. Max asked me about automation for the future, how I want to automate my company, because right now I'm working approximately 50 hours a week or more. So I want to like, I'm far away from 4 hours a week also, but I want to automate it. First, I'm working home office right now. I made my, like one room, it's 20 square meters, I made it as an office. So right now I'm looking for a separate office where I want to set up 2 or 3 rooms with a secretary, like assistant in front, and 2 employees, because that's what I need right now. I have too much work for myself. And after, or like by end of next year, I want to have a managing director for this company. So as you can see, it's not a classical startup, like not a digital startup as yours, for example. It's a classical business, but I tried with digital techniques to bring it very quick into the position to be able to work on its own. And then I just wanted to watch from the side. So I just controlled it, right? So the managing director runs the business, do the things I'm doing right now, and just that I can control it. What I'm doing right now is real estate development. So I'm just starting with the money I earn to invest into real estate to create some passive cash flow. So that's pretty easy and classic. I want to tell you how to start it right away. So start building partnerships. So start with friends, start with your colleagues at work or wherever. Just start telling them your ideas, start gathering people around you who can partner up with you. So you can make like a team, as I did in the beginning. That's how I started. If you're in an advanced stage, just join networks and associations. So I'm in a network of like approximately 4 people from different sectors, like not real estate. I'm the only real estate person, but we're working together. And there's, for example, one person who builds furniture, right? So if you know someone who wants to sell a house, he's just calling me and I'm selling his house. That easy. So you can really very profit from the whole network thing. Another website you might know or you don't, a very good friend recommended to me, is Kimono Labs. That's a website where you can have an automated scraper. So you have like, you make an installation of this add-on in your browser, you're going to go on a website, and it crawls for you. You set it up for like 3 or 4 hours, I think. It takes some time to get into it, but then you can like get hundreds out of contact information for your sector where you will work in. MailChimp, of course, as I did, just put it into MailChimp. And a very nice website is Fiverr.com. I don't know if you know it so far. Who knows it? Okay, cool. So you can just outsource things. That's how. Huh? I got a new for 1 week already. I don't know. I'm just trying it. I'm waiting for my new logo and website. Do you know some other good websites for that? Freelancer. Exactly. Yeah. So, but you know this better than me probably. So, but what I mean is just outsource the things and just try it with a very small amount of money. Because I asked another colleague of mine who's doing very professional company communication to make a logo for me, and he wanted like €1,500 for just a logo, right? So but that's how classy business world is. People take money for things. And yes, if you have any questions, drop me an email. I'm looking for interns and assistants if you're interested to get into real estate. And I have an own real estate group which you can visit. And beginning of June, I will make the next meetup. Thank you very much for listening. How do I find houses what I want to sell? Right now it is like people like call me. In the beginning, because of the network, I just really met all those people, and first I found myself a mentor, kind of. He's like more than 40 years in the business already. He has like too many houses to sell, right? So he gave me some houses, and there was a second person who gave me the same, and through that I got into that pretty quick. That's it actually. And now it's about recommendation marketing. So I'm not thinking about putting some money into marketing. Yes, please.
What did you write in your cold email that got you all those emails?
Why?
No, what did you write?
I was pretty, I faked it again, kind of. So on the left side, I wrote everything I'm doing, like finance and insurance and everything. Then I just introduced myself, who am I, where I'm from, kind of very personal things, and then what I can offer. So that was just the most important thing, right? What I can bring, what value I can bring to them. That's it. So I wrote them that I can, do the whole thing, the life cycle of real estate, which not many companies can do right now. Yes?
I have a question about your process of you said like you paid someone and he like created like some code that crawled on other websites, and then you put those information like in email. I mean, it's not like, don't you need like their consent in order to have them on the email list? Can you just
I didn't pay the guy. It was like he made it like for free, and he made it anyway and just gave it to me. Actually, you need. That's the answer. Yes, that was risky, but so far I haven't received any single complaint about that, and I'm still doing that. I'm still sending emails to those 1,800 something people, and like I think 12 or like only just deleted themselves from a list. No complaints so far. So if they see the value, then they're not going to complain. But you have to be careful. You need to be like valuable for them. So don't write any spam into the email. Pardon? How did I pass them? I have no idea if I passed them, but I have. Just wrote a nice subject line, so like, about what is in the text, and then I made a nice HTML email. And that's it, actually. I think it doesn't go into spam.
What's your business model? How do you sell? So you forward people that want to buy houses to other companies, or usually people want to see the house, right? So I didn't understand that part.
No, yeah, I didn't want to say too much about my company. But yeah, but I can. It's like, I don't want to promote it. It's just about normal brokerage. So if you want to sell a house, you give it to me. I take some pictures. I go there and take all the details. And the market goes as, I don't know if you know that or not, like most of the objects, or like the good objects, are sold before they're on Immobilien Scout or all the platforms. So I know people who buy houses just right away, for example, and the other way around. So I just first email my objects to people who I already know. So if you want to have something, you probably go to a real estate broker and tell them your preferences right away, without waiting to come to Immobilien Scout. Yeah, but that's my business model right away. And now I'm starting real estate development, so just flipping houses, just buying, refurnishing or refurbishment, and then selling again. Yes? We're good? Thank you very much.